Hey, what's up guys? This is Rob. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and we're on another Question Corner video. Obviously, I'm enjoying having my new camera, so I kind of want to use it as much as possible while it's brand new. And I've had a lot of questions to answer lately, so I wanted to get back to do another one of these because they're always so fun. You guys really seem to enjoy them, so thank you for participating. Thank you for getting excited and doing these with me. I just really appreciate your guys' enthusiasm. So, of course, remember, if you leave a question below, I will eventually get to it on a Question Corner video, and I will give you your own special shout-out and a video dedicated just to you and your question. So today is going to be unique in that I'm going to quickly answer one question before moving to the main question. As I mentioned last time, YouTube user Mario TGP was trying to ask me a question for a while, and apparently I kept ignoring him and told him I'd give him his own episode. Now, he asked his question, however, it's not really worthy of an entire episode, so I'm going to quickly answer that for you, Mario, and then I'm going to get to today's other real main question. So Mario TGP asks me... he asked if I made my intro and outro songs, and if so, do they have names? When did I make them? Do I have a Bandcamp somewhere where I can hear my music? Yada yada. I think I should do a video where you talk about your music. Those themes rock. Thank you. I do appreciate that. So, the intro and outro music, the intro with a little kind of the 8-bit noises that turns into like a rock song that I've been using for Rule of Two Review most of the time, and I'm actually switching that to kind of the outro now, is actually a theme that was created by both myself and one of my bandmates from my band for a podcast I was doing when I first started Rule of Two Review as a website in 2010. And in 2010, Rule of Two Review was a website, and me and a bunch of my buddies, when I was still living in Denver, which I just moved away 2 months ago, but I was still living in Denver, and I was running two podcasts that were only available on iTunes at the time. There was a movies podcast called Frame by Frame, and then we had a different podcast, which was a gaming podcast called The 1-Bit Podcast. And through that, myself and my friend Reed, who's, like I said, was our lead guitarist, a bandmate of mine, who he actually really gets most of the credit. He is the one who really designed and put together that piece of music for me to use for 1-Bit back in the day. And when I took a break from Rule of Two Review and then came back and turned it into a YouTube channel, I decided to basically bring that theme back and make it the theme for Rule of Two Review. So that's where that comes from. Now, the other song that I've been using for my outro, that is a song from my band that I share with that fellow Reed and a couple of other people. That is me on the drums playing that music right there. That is a song from my band. My band name is Nutricula. You can find Nutricula on Facebook if you search on Facebook. We're not a band right now because I moved away from Denver to Portland 2 months ago, so that kind of stopped that whole thing in its tracks, which is really too bad because we were a great band with a lot of good things going on. It was a great passion project for me, and I'm really proud of everything that we did and the music I was playing with those guys. But when I moved away, so I'm working on connecting with a different group out here in Portland where I'm at. But those guys, they're like some of my best buddies, and they still live back in Denver. So you can find the band and 4 studio tracks that we did. One of them is a demo. The other 3 are pretty much final mixes of me playing. And that outro song is the very beginning of a song called Blood for Oil. That is the name of that song. You can find it on YouTube. I played the version without lyrics. That's what you're hearing. Because I'm able to get different versions of the tracks and just pull the vocal track off of it, basically. So that's just the straight musical final mix of the 2 guitars, bass, and drums, myself playing on that song. So that's what that is. It's a great tune. It was our most radio-friendly kind of song, so that's why I thought it was a good kind of energetic song to play. Most of our stuff isn't that radio-friendly. We're pretty heavy and crazy and progressive, and it's a great band, great guys, some of my best bros, yeah. So anyway, that's where that music comes from. Yes, it's me. It's designed by me and a friend of mine who's a bandmate who is also a musician, obviously. The outro song. Now I'm not playing drums on the 8-bit stuff. That's been the intro. That's all programmed stuff. There's no actual drummer there that Reed and I put together. But again, the outro song, that's me playing drums on that song. That's my band, and It's awesome. So I'm glad that you've been into it. Thank you for asking me that question. You know, I don't really get to talk about my band very often, and I just even finally gave Rule of Two Review, the name of my band, Nutricula. So now you guys could find us on Facebook. There's nothing happening currently with the band, of course, because I moved, but we were a great band, man. We did some great things. So if you like that kind of music, check us out. We got 4 tracks on Facebook, and yeah, so that's where that music comes from. So thank you, Mario TGP. I hope that helps and satiates your need to hear me talk about music and where those intros and outros come from. So that's very fun. Thank you so much. So let me lower my chair a little bit here. Yeah, much better. Okay. The actual question I'm asking for today, okay. So I'm really excited to do this. So today's gaming related question comes from YouTube user Chronoflation. Chronoflation is just one of my most consistently fantastic and positive and energetic commenters on Rule of Two Review, and has been following the channel for a long time and has always had great things to say. So thank you, Chronoflation, for being a fan, and thank you for asking a question. This is great because it's a very personal question for him, and I hope that I can kind of help with this, so I guess we'll see. So he says, hey Rob, I've got a he or she. I think that you're a he, but I don't know. Chronoflation says, hey Rob, I've got a question for you. I've been going through a bit of a gamer overload / fatigue. So I was wondering, have I ever gone through some sort of serious gamer fatigue? And if so, how do you go about handling it? And then he goes on to say all these amazing things about how much he loves my channel, so thank you. So long story short, Chronoflation is going through overload, kind of, gamer fatigue, burned out probably, and he's wondering if I've ever gone through it and if I have any suggestions on how to handle it. So that is a great question, because now we're not talking about anything specific. We're not talking about games or developers or studios or consoles or drama or any of that BS. We're just talking about us as gamers, man. How do we game? And if we run into a gamer fatigue, which a lot of us run into that quite often, how do you go about it? So I don't really have that long or complicated of an answer for this. You're going through something that I think is pretty normal. And to tell you the truth, this may sound shocking, I actually think it's healthy. Because I am just as passionate about gaming as you guys. Obviously, I run this YouTube channel for a reason. I spend a lot of my money on the hobby of gaming, and happily so. I can afford to do so, so I'm pretty lucky. I have a good job. And I'm proud of that. And I love gaming. It's been with me ever since I was a kid, and it will always be with me. But I feel, so this isn't like a diss to people who game incessantly, because I do game incessantly too, even as a busy individual with a girlfriend, with a full-time career, with music projects. I exercise 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, I'm a busy person. I still find time to game like crazy. But I have, yes, run into gamer fatigue. And I think that a lot of people this generation might be doing it because this generation feels really incomplete and kind of stagnant. I'm not quite sure what the focus of this generation is. I don't think the 3 console manufacturers know what the focus is. I don't think any of the third-party developers developing games for the consoles and PC right now know what the focus is. No one really knows what's going on, and I think it's creating this sort of doldrum of experiences that make sense, things that feel complete or purposeful. I feel like everyone's kind of fumbling through this generation right now, and I think we as gamers are feeling the effects. So I think that's part of the reason why you might be going through gamer fatigue. And also, sometimes you just get burned out, man. And there's nothing wrong with it. To me, getting burned out means that you don't have to be so reliant on only existing in this hobby and only playing video games. Again, I love video games as much as you and everyone else, man. I love it to death. But it shouldn't be the only thing you do. I don't think any one thing should be the only thing you do, to be fair. But in talking about gaming, it falls in that category. So it's good and it's healthy to me to hear that you're like, oh man, maybe I've been playing too many games. Maybe there's just too much out there. Maybe I'm just not interested in it right now. Maybe I need a break. And if you need a break, to tell you the truth, you want my, sorry, my nose itches. Every time I record for you guys, my nose itches. I don't know why. So, okay, let me go back to the other part. You asked if I've had gamer fatigue, and yes, I have. Near the end of last generation, before this generation started, and kind of even getting into this generation, I was kind of in gamer fatigue. I was still gaming, but I was struggling. And if you want to know how to handle it, here's how you handle it. And this might not be the popular answer, but you should just stop playing for a while, you know? I mean, if you're overloaded and maybe there's too much to play and you don't know where to go next, or you just can't find anything interesting to play, or you're just not motivated to play, then dude, don't play, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the healthiest thing you can do is say, well, I got to take a break for a while, so just step back and do other things. Find the other things that you care about, you know? If you work for a living, you know, focus on work. If you go to school, focus on school. You should be doing those two things anyway, but, you know, redirect your focus on those things. If you have a significant other, or if you have just a large group of friends, if you have other hobbies, like myself with music and exercise, maybe you do one of those things. Maybe you draw or paint. Maybe you knit. Maybe you dance. I mean, hopefully you have something else that is an important hobby and a passion for you beyond gaming, so you have somewhere else to focus your energy. And in doing so, I think it's totally healthy to be able to step away from gaming. Don't worry that you won't come back to it, because if gaming really means to you as much to you as you think it does, you'll come back to it and it will come back to you. I firmly believe that, because I've taken small breaks before and I've come back every time, man, every single time. And I'm even like semi-motivated to play right now. I think being in the smallest little fraction of a gamer fatigue right now is probably why The Witcher 3 didn't do much for me, because I just didn't feel like I wanted to dedicate to all those cutscenes and all this huge world right now. So, and you know what I did? I turned that game off. I haven't turned it on, and I'm not interested in playing it. I will wait till I feel motivated to play that game again. You might need to wait until you feel motivated to play games again. And I don't think you're cheating yourself or, you know, or doing something wrong by the hobby that we all share with you if you step away from it for a while. And anyone who might say like, oh, you're just copping out and you're not playing anymore, you're not a real gamer, fuck them, man. Like, that's bullshit. Anyone who would tell you that, do not dare listen to those people. So hopefully that's not an issue that you're running into. You know, so I really think that's it, man. All I can say is if you got something else to do, then do it. And if you don't have anything else that's a current passion or hobby, I still say take a break if you feel motivated to take a break for as long as what feels natural. Don't force it, because then you'll just resent it or care about gaming even less. You know, it's why I didn't force myself through The Witcher. Like I said, I just stopped playing, you know. An amazingly convenient example that I can give you in relating it to myself is music. There was a period in 2012 with Nutricula where I was really struggling, and I was just busy with work. I didn't get laid off. The company I was working for in the industry that I was in shut down. So all of a sudden I just was unemployed, like randomly. And over the period of 3 months and stuff going on with an ex-girlfriend at the time, I was just in like a really tough place. It was hard for me to be motivated to learn new music, to write music, to perform it, to play shows, to, you know, practice my chops and all this stuff. And it was really hard. And for months and months, it was hard for me to be dedicated to the band the way the band needed me to. And I have a specific role as a drummer in a band like that. And after a couple of months of struggling through it, I realized, hey, I need to take a break. So I told the band, I was like, you know what? Guys, like, I love this more than anything, but I can't be focused and dedicated to music right now. I've got too much going on. I need to focus on finding a new job and a new career, and, you know, make sure I keep my house and I can pay my bills and deal with this kind of depression of dealing with like an ex-girlfriend thing at the time. I just had too much on my mind, and I couldn't focus on game. I wasn't gaming on music. I wasn't focused and motivated to play and learn new music and keep up on my chops for probably 7 or 8 months. So I took a break, and the band stopped. I mean, we didn't do any music or anything. So it's a crazy coincidence that this comes up on an episode where I also answered another question about my music, but it's a perfect example. And you know what happened? We took that break. I took that break. I probably didn't play my drums for about 3 months initially, which was so weird. But then all of a sudden, I got back into it. The passion came. I figured out other stuff. I felt re-energized, re-motivated. I got my stuff set back up, started practicing again, got the band back together, and we just kept on rolling. And it was like great, like it always was. And that break was the best thing I could have done for myself as a musician and for the band at that time. And the same thing applies to you and applies to gaming. It applies to anybody. So anyone else watching this, I hope that can be helpful for you too. You know, the moral of the story is if you're feeling gamer fatigue, don't force it. Don't be afraid to step away, take a break, find something else to focus your energy on. And again, gaming will find its way back to you. If you're meant to be a gamer like I know you are, Chronoflation, and anyone else who would watch this video, it will find its way to you, and you will find your way back. There's nothing wrong with it. Those systems will still be sitting underneath your TV, and your PC will still be there hooked up to a monitor doing whatever you need it to do. Games will still keep releasing. Companies are making new games and gaming won't stop while you stop. So the great thing is you come back and you have all these new games to play. So I don't know. I think that's really the best way that I can look at it and describe it. You know, that's my take. Other people may have other advice for you, and follow the advice that makes the most sense for you. But that's my advice. That's what's worked for me. That's what I think is healthiest. You know, don't get so caught up that gaming is the only thing you can do and ever do. Be social. Spend time with people. Find a significant other, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, whatever works for you. You know, find someone else to dedicate your energy into. Find a great job or career that you can focus your energy on, and then have gaming supplement that. Don't make gaming your whole life. That is not healthy to make it your whole life. And I say that as someone who plays all the time and runs a YouTube channel about gaming, and I'm telling you, you still shouldn't make it your whole life. It's best when it complements all the other great things that you have. Just like everything else does. I treat my music the same way and yada yada. So, you know, I don't want to talk myself in circles, which we know I do. So I think that's it. I really hope that was helpful. Like I said, talk to other people, get a couple different people's advice and perspective, and find what works for you. But I feel like I gave pretty good advice, so I'm really hoping that helps. So that's it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. This was a really fun question corner to do because it was different than normal. Chronoflation, I really appreciate you asking me that kind of a question. Really fun to talk about gaming in a different way than normal, you know, and not any specific company or product or anything. And Mario TGP, thanks also for being a fan for a long time. Thanks for your great question about music. I do love talking about my music when I can. Maybe one day I'll post something, maybe like a full song or a video of myself playing drums or something on Rule 2 Review just for fun. But I don't really know if that'd be that interesting to people. But yeah, I don't know. That's it, man. So thanks. Great. As always, I love question corners. Thank you guys for asking questions. Again, if you want your question featured on a question corner and you would like a special shout out to yourself, please leave your question below in the comments of this video, and I'll scour through them as always and find a good one to answer in the next week or two. I'm going to keep on doing these as long as people seem interested in asking questions. So again, thank you guys as always. Thanks for your support for Rule 2 Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.